In a bustling city in Nigeria, a young woman named Mary stood in front of her class, her eyes twinkling with warmth as she taught her students. Mary was a beautiful woman with a kind heart, always smiling and helping others. Despite living with sickle cell disease, a condition that often left her fatigued and in pain, she never let it dim her passion for teaching. She had always believed that life was about giving and caring, even when her own body felt like a battlefield. Mary was loved by everyone around her. Her students adored her because she taught with passion and made every class enjoyable, even when she was feeling unwell. She was fondly called Miss Mary. One of Mary's favorite students was a bright boy named Pascal. Pascal loved his teacher so much that he would often ask his elder brother, Thompson, to take him to visit Mary whenever she was sick. Thompson didn't mind because he admired Mary's strength and kindness too. He was just as fond of her as his little brother. Pascal and Thompson had an interesting family story. For many years, their parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ease, couldn't have more children after Thompson was born. But 15 years later, they were blessed with Pascal. Sadly, Mrs. Ease passed away while giving birth to Pascal, leaving the family with a bittersweet feeling. Despite this loss, Pascal grew up in a loving home, and his father took care of him and Thompson. Mary's perseverance through her health battles inspired Thompson. He often volunteered to pick up Pascal from school, secretly hoping for a chance to see Miss Mary. At first, he convinced himself it was out of brotherly duty. But the more he interacted with her, the more he realized that his visits were driven by a budding admiration for her beauty, strength, and resilience. Thompson had always been an observant young man. He noticed how Mary would wince slightly when her students weren't looking, how she'd pause to catch her breath after climbing stairs. Yet she never complained. Her spirit was unyielding, and her smile ever-present. One particular day, after a severe pain crisis, Mary was hospitalized. The news hit Thompson hard. Pascal was desperate to visit her, and Thompson was all too eager to drive him there. The hospital room was filled with the quiet hum of medical equipment. Mary lay on the bed, looking fragile, her skin pale against the white sheets. When Thompson saw her like that, his heart ached, feeling an overwhelming urge to comfort her. Despite her family being present, he couldn't hold back. He approached Mary and enveloped her in a hug, her slender frame almost disappearing within his embrace. For a moment, it felt as though the world had melted away, leaving only the two of them in their own bubble of understanding and compassion. Mary's family watched in silence, touched by Thompson's heartfelt display of care. That moment was a turning point for him. He realized that his feelings for Mary were more than just admiration. It was love. After Mary's recovery, Thompson knew he had to speak to his father about his feelings. One evening, after taking Pascal to visit Mary, Thompson gathered the courage to speak with his father about his feelings. "Dad, I want to talk to you about something important," Thompson began nervously. Mr. Ease looked up from his newspaper, curious about what his son had to say. "Sure, what is it, son?" he asked. I love Mary, Dad. I want to be with her," Thompson confessed, his voice steady but filled with emotions. Mr. Ease sighed, feeling the weight of Thompson's words. "Thompson, you know how much we care for Mary, but this is serious. She has sickle cell disease. It's a hard life, and I don't want you to go through that." Thompson took a deep breath. He had expected this reaction but was prepared with his response. "Dad, you and Mom were both AS genotypes, but you still decided to get married because you loved each other. You took a chance on love, despite knowing the potential consequences of such a decision, and here we are. You have me as AA and Pascal as S. If you and Mom could do it, why can't I?" Mr. Ease paused, thinking about his son's words. The truth was, he and his late wife had indeed taken a risk for love. They had been blessed with healthy children, but it could have been different. However, he understood that love was not something that could be easily dismissed, despite a strong reasons to not push it. "Son, we were just young and foolish, maybe lucky even. I wouldn't advise anyone to take that risk." No amount of love is worth putting innocent children to a lifelong crisis of pain and complications, Mr. Ease said softly. Thompson nodded. I know, Dad. But I love Mary. Our case isn't even as consequential as yours. If you and Mom had given birth to such a daughter, would you tell men not to love her because she is a box of crisis? He said, sounding very soft and reasonable. Mr. Ease couldn't answer. His heart was heavy, but he saw the determination in Thompson's eyes. All right, Mr. Ease said reluctantly. I understand, son. It's easy to be logical when we don't walk certain shoes. But you have to be sure you're ready for whatever comes with such a decision. With his father's hesitant blessing, Thompson approached Mary one afternoon after school. They sat under the shade of an old mango tree, the air filled with the gentle rustling of leaves. Mary, Thompson began, taking a deep breath. Mary, there's something I need to tell you. I've been feeling this way for a while now. I really care about you more than just as Pascal's teacher. I like you a lot, Mary. Mary looked at Thompson, surprised by his confession. Her heart skipped a beat, but she shook her head gently. Thompson, you're 2 years younger than me. You're like my younger brother's age mate. Thompson chuckled, trying to lighten the mood. Age is just a number, Mary. Besides, if we go out, people will think I'm older. I mean, look at me. Mary smiled, but she remained firm. It's not just about age. It's my health too. I need someone who understands what it means to live with sickle cell, someone mature. Mary, I do understand. I know how hard it is for you. But I'm willing to face it all with you. I want to make you happy, Thompson said sincerely. Mary's eyes welled up with tears. She liked Thompson but felt he was too young to bear the weight of her struggles. I like you too, Thompson, but I don't want to be a burden. You're a wonderful young man, but you're also 2 years younger than me. I can't let you shoulder my health challenges. You deserve someone who can add to you, not just take and take from you. Not an older, sick girl. Thompson smiled, trying to lighten the mood. Are you saying I can't father your child? What other manly qualities are you looking for? Mary laughed, shaking her head. You're something else, Thompson. It's not about that. It's about you having to deal with my crisis. It wouldn't be fair to you. He reached out and took her hand. Mary, any man who wants to marry you needs financial stability, understanding and care. I have all those things. Why should age be a barrier when love and compatibility are the core of a relationship? Mary hesitated, her heart torn between her fears and her feelings. I like you too, Thompson, more than I should admit. But this feels selfish, like I'm taking away your youth and freedom. Thompson's tone grew more serious. Mary, life with you isn't a burden. It's a choice I'm willing to make. Your health challenges don't define you, and they don't scare me away. They sat in silence, the weight of the conversation hanging between them. Thompson broke the silence, smiling softly. I'll give you time to think about it, Mary. But I'm not going anywhere, he promised. Thompson didn't give up. He continued to support Mary, visiting her unexpectedly at school, sending her thoughtful gifts, and taking her out on casual dates that brightened her days. One day, Thompson came up with a plan to show Mary just how much she meant to him. He approached the principal of the school where Mary taught and asked for a favor. Good morning, sir. Thompson greeted the principal politely. Good morning, Thompson. What brings you here today? The principal asked, intrigued. I want to propose to Mary, sir. But I want to do it in a special way with your permission, Thompson explained his plan. The principal listened carefully, nodding with a smile. Miss Mary is an exceptional teacher. We admire her strength and dedication despite her condition. We would be happy to help. With the school's support, Thompson set the plan in motion. On the chosen day, Mary arrived at school as usual, unaware of what was about to happen. The students were buzzing with excitement, and the teachers were all smiles. As the morning assembly began, the principal called Mary to the stage for a special announcement. Confused but curious, Mary stepped forward. Today we have something special planned, the principal said, glancing at Thompson, who was standing off to the side. With a signal from the principal, the students started singing a song that Mary loved. As the melody filled the air, the students were ordered torch to their classes, and they did. With staff and management board left on the stage, Thompson walked onto the stage, holding a bouquet of her favorite flowers. Mary's heart raced and her cheeks flushed. She had no idea what was happening. "Miss Mary," he began, his voice echoing with sincerity, "you've touched the lives of so many, including mine. Your strength and kindness inspire everyone around you. I can't imagine my life without you in it." He knelt down, pulling out a ring that glimmered in the morning light. "Will you marry me?" Mary's eyes filled with tears, overwhelmed by the unexpected and heartfelt proposal. She nodded, unable to find words, and finally managed to say, "Yes, Thompson. I want to be with you more than anything. I was only trying to protect you." Thompson stood, slipping the ring onto her finger. "I need no protection from love, Mary. We'll face everything together." The stage erupted into applause, everyone cheering in delight as Thompson and Mary embraced. As the couple prepared for their wedding, Thompson